Welcome to Free Spirit Equestrian. Today, I'm going to show you how to train your horse to ride tackless. Hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so the first step to riding tackless is to just do your normal warm-up. With that being said, you want to do a bunch of circles. You want to make sure that you're using your leg cues and really using your seat and engaging with your horse. You definitely want to make sure that they will move off your leg and that they'll respond to your seat, and also some voice commands as well. I really use that when I'm working with my horses and teaching them how to ride tackless. So again, just normal warm-up. So this is Pascal, and this is my first time riding him tackless. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps, and you're going to see kind of how we do together. And hopefully this is helpful in your journey to riding tackless. So with that being said, you want to make sure that you have a really strong relationship and understanding with your horse. Pascal and I have a really good understanding and communication, and we have a relationship. That is really important to understand and make sure you have before attempting to ride tackless, because as I'm sure you know, it can be very dangerous. So you want to make sure that you really have good communication before you try anything like this. And you also want to make sure that you trust your horse and that they trust you. Okay? All right, so we're going to get ready for step 2. Okay, so step 2 is engaging the neck rope. So what that means is I have a paracord neck rope that is around Pascal's neck, which you'll kind of be able to see as we go along. And that is what I'm going to be using when we go completely tackless. So what I'm going to do here is ride him like I normally would, but I'm going to go back and forth between using my bridle, my reins, and using my neck rope. So I'm going to do a bunch of transitions. I'm going to steer him. I might hold them at the same time, and when I pull back on the reins or I sit deep in my seat, I'll also engage the neck rope at the same time. That way they can get used to understanding that the neck rope cue is very similar to the reins and the seat, and that they make that connection. So that's huge in practicing that. So you want to make sure that you do tons and tons of transitions, steering, making sure they're moving off your leg. This step is designed to set you up for success and to also make sure that the horse is responding before you go any further in this process. As you could hear right there, I was using voice commands. So that's another thing that I teach my horses is voice commands and tone. So if I say, whoa, walk slow, that means slow down and or stop. So that's something that I really emphasize in teaching if you want to do more tackless riding, because it does come in handy, because you want every tool that you can possibly have just in case something was to go south. So I think that's really, really important. So as you can see right here, I'm holding both the reins and the neck rope. And again, I'm just practicing steering and transitioning, and I'm using both of them at the same time. Once you feel like your horse is responding to just your neck rope, you can then move on to step 3. Okay, so once again, we are only moving on to step 3 once we feel as though we'd had complete control in step 1 and step 2, and that we feel as though our horse is responding to our leg, our seat, and our neck rope only, and that we do not have to engage with our bridle or our reins. So with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit more about our step 3 bridleless. So now that I feel as though Pascal's really comfortable with the neck rope and that we have an understanding, our communication is clear of what our expectations are, I'm now going to remove his bridle, which I had already done, and just rely on my neck rope. So in step 3, you should definitely keep the saddle on because you want to just take it one step at a time. You want the focus to just be on the neck rope and using your leg in your seat and not having to worry as much about balancing as if you were bareback and or tackless. So when I first go bridleless, I take it really slow, just a bunch of walking. I want to make sure that they're turning. Also, obviously, it's really good if your horse neck reins. It's a lot easier because basically that's a huge part of it is neck reining as well. So just making sure that you take it really slow, practice stopping a bunch of times. The brakes are the most important part, obviously, but also just making sure that they're responding to what direction you want to go, and only then you then can pick up your speed. So we're going to go ahead and go into the trot because he was responding really well at the walk and stopping and turning. And shortly right after we go into the trot, I'm going to ask for a transition down to make sure he's responding. Okay, he did really well, so we're going to move back into the trot, and I'm just going to keep him going for a minute, and I'm just going to stay nice and calm and relaxed because this is new to him as well, and I just want to make sure that he feels really comfortable with what we're doing. And nothing's going to be perfect at first, guys, okay? It's going to be a little challenging because it's something new, even if you've done a lot of preparation, but just take it slow, stay calm, and hang in there. Okay, we're going to switch directions. So another thing, it's really important that you practice all of the steps in each direction as well, okay? You definitely want to make sure that they're understanding it from both sides and all their gaits. And same thing as in the prior step, we want to make sure that we're asking for some turns, we're doing a bunch of transitions, and that we're checking all those boxes before we were to ever proceed to our last step. So it's really good. He's stretching down. He's responding really well to my seat. So I'm really happy thus far with how he's doing. Okay, so now that I feel comfortable at the trot, we're going to go into our canter and we're going to work on that for a little bit. Okay, so that was really good. We're just going to continue working on a little bit more canter. And again, I just want to be really sure that he's responding to me before going any further. And so far, he's doing a phenomenal job. And sometimes you might not be able to take all these steps in one day. He's doing really good, so that's why we just keep moving forward. But if I felt we were struggling with any of the steps, then I would just focus on that step and master that step before we move forward to anything else. And again, I just keep doing a bunch of transitions and he's listening to every single one, so that's really nice. Okay, I feel pretty confident and we're going to move on to step 4. Okay guys, you've made it to step 4. So again, I'm going to start off really slow with Pascal and I'm going to ask him to back up a little bit and see if he's responding to that. And then we'll walk forward afterwards. But if you could do me a favor, if you're enjoying this video, if you could hit that like button, we'd really appreciate it. Okay, he did really good there. So again, we're going to start off slow like you should with every step. And then we're going to just go from there. And same thing with this step, you want to make sure that your horse is turning and that they're listening to your leg and stopping when you're asking them. Very important before going any faster in step 4. Now that I feel comfortable with walking, steering, stopping with no tack, I'm going to go ahead and ask him to move into the trot. And first thing I'm going to do is turn him to see if he's responding. And so far, so good. He's doing really well. And again, you just want to stay nice and calm and composed. And just make sure that you're setting your horse and yourself up for success. He's doing really good. He's listening to my leg and he's keeping a nice rhythm. Riding tackless is such a magical experience. It truly connects you to the horse and you honestly become one as horse and rider, and it's very harmonious And there's really nothing that's any more special than a connection like that. So this is why I really, really enjoy this. Okay, we're gonna switch directions. He did really well turning. Okay, so we're gonna walk and do a little bit of a turn and then go into our trot. And that was good there. And we're gonna work on our trot in this direction as well. Again, just keeping it really simple and really calm. That, again, I'm just gonna keep emphasizing that because you don't wanna just get on and go super fast and lose control and get hurt. Again, this is something that takes a lot of time to understand, a lot of trust and understanding with the horse, a lot of communication, and a lot of skill. So you just wanna take it step by step. And again, I'm making sure that I'm really paying attention and keeping a calm, quiet seat, and I'm using my leg on and off and also using my neck rope as a guide. So I'm not just sitting there and doing nothing. Like, I'm really engaging my core, making sure I'm nice and balanced as much as I can be for being bareback, and really trying to guide him in the best way possible. So that's really important. It's not just sitting there and hoping for the best. Like, you really want to make sure that you're guiding your horse as well. Also, a huge thing, make sure that you really praise your horse during this process, okay? Lots and lots of positive reinforcement. Okay, so now that I feel really confident in both directions, we're gonna go ahead and switch directions from where we were, and we're gonna go ahead and go into our canter and see how that goes. Okay, that was a pretty smooth transition. Okay, I'm really happy with how he did there. He's doing so good, and he's just kind of really going with the flow, and I could not be more proud. So I feel really, really confident in our canter, tackless, and he's just being a really good boy. Okay, I'm gonna transition down into our trot, and that was really good, and we're gonna halt. And he did so well. So we are gonna wrap up this session. I think it was super awesome and I had so much fun. Overall, I am so proud of him, and I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this session. If you learned something and you liked it, if you could subscribe to the channel, we would really appreciate it. Thanks, horse lovers.